355. The new power in the, quote, Christian right, end quote. Chalcedon Report number 234, January 1985. The most important and virtually unknown story behind the US presidential election of 1984 has not been told. According to one pollster, the, quote, moral majority was responsible for 20% of the vote. The pollsters, however, lump a variety of Christian groups, some almost unknown but powerful, under the name of the moral majority. That organisation has served an invaluable purpose, among other things, in drawing the fire of the Liberals, and Falwell has been able to diffuse the attacks with wit and grace. But the, quote, moral majority has no grassroots, precinct-walking organisation, but rather a national voice. The unknown power was made up of great numbers of young men in their late 30s and early 40s, and some younger. These men were campus radicals and leaders in the 1960s and early 1970s, ex-feminists and ex-Trotskyites. They learned political action in confrontations, demonstrations, riots, flag burnings, and more. In the process, they came to realize that the humanistic state, instead of being the voice of reason and the good, is an evil monster. Out of this disillusionment, many became Christians, fundamentalists, charismatics in great number, Calvinists, Reconstructionists, and so on. With the 1984 election, they returned to political activism as Christians. In 1976, about 20% of the electorate called itself conservative. The number of dedicated liberals were far fewer. Elections were won or lost in one campaign after another by the ability of one group or another to command a pragmatic majority. This pragmatic majority is voted in terms of their pocketbook. Does the economy feel good, and will a particular party do the least to rock the boat? In 1984, about 40% of the electorate, on pragmatic grounds, spoke of themselves as, quote, conservative, end quote, still not enough to elect a man. However, between 15 to 20 million voters were brought into the picture by the so-called Christian right. This was apparently the margin of victory. In this victory, these young ex-Marxists turned Christians played a major role. They had previously scored on the congressional level. In 1984, many of the new congressional victors campaigned as Christians. Since the election, these young activists have been meeting all over the United States to organize for 1986, as well as to work in the state and local levels at once. Add to this another factor: the pro-life people, who worked hard in the precinct level, wore out shoe leather, and came to the conviction that education and protests are not enough. Organised political action is necessary. The president's re-election was thus the surface froth on a new and strong movement which is determined to reshape the United States on Christian premises. It is principled, and it is future and action-oriented. It has escaped notice because of its elusive nature. These ex-campus radicals turned Christians are no longer amateurs.